Hello and welcome to the Wiretap Whisper Podcast, episode 19, presented by me, Sammy ASMR. If this is the first time you're watching the podcast, this is a series of ASMR creator focused podcast episodes where I sit down with other ASMR creators in the space and I talk to them all about their channel, their personal life, and basically just everything in between. So I hope you enjoy it. Today, we are joined by the lovely Quantum ASMR, aka Caroline.
Hi.
So, for those of you guys who maybe aren't familiar with Caroline, I have a quick summary for you. So basically, she is a American creator. She currently has around 110,000 subscribers on her channel and 137 videos currently posted on there. She's been uploading ASMR content now for over 3.5 years. So, what I would call a veteran in the space. I know there's been people that are longer, but I think that's a long time. And if I was to summarize the kind of content, the style of ASMR that Caroline produces, it's really everything, to be honest. But there's a big focus on chatty, talkative, factual videos. And for the most part, the best way to describe it is educational, which we'll definitely get into because that's something that we've never had on the podcast before. So I'm looking forward to dive into that. But that's a boring summary that I've got. And I'm sure Caroline will give a better one right now of who she is. So, Caroline, who are you today?
Um, I guess today I would describe myself not only as an ASM artist, creator, I'm a wife, I'm a learner. Um, I love to share my knowledge with other people. And I don't know, I just like bringing happiness and peace to other people.
Great answer. Great answer. I love it. And obviously, we'll dive into that and more during the podcast. So the way it's going to work, if you've never seen this before, is there's a past, present, and a future section. Obviously, we'll start with the past and we'll make our way towards the future. There'll kind of be a bit of crossover as we go along, but for the most part, that's the general structure that we're going to have. I always ask guests if they want to film in soft spoken or whispered. Today, with soft spoken. The nature of the podcast and the nature of an interview is things can get a little bit excited. So we apologize if our voices get too loud, but we do try and keep it, a relaxing, chill vibe. So it's still within the theme of ASMR. But I hope you guys enjoy. So yeah, like I said, starting with the past, and we're gonna go right back. And I think you started this journey while you were in college, right? So let's talk about
Yeah.
how you got there in the first place. Were you always into like science and things like that growing up?
I was always interested in science. Originally, I think ever since I was 5 years old, I would say to everybody that I wanted to be an open heart surgeon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, but obviously that changed. When I was 17, I had something happen to me that kind of just turned me off to the medical field. But I still wanted to be involved in science, and
Yeah.
I've always been pretty good at math, so physics was kind of just the right fit for me.
Well, that's it, isn't it? It's just like, yeah, physics is just lots of equations, lots of maths going on,
Yeah. Very, very
Yeah.
much.
So, like, I mean, what type of kid were you? Were you like a sporty kid? Were you the kind of the kid that always had the homework done on time? Like, what was going on there?
I was the nerd. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not even gonna I was not coordinated, so I never played any sports. I was really heavily involved in music and theater, so I did a
Okay.
lot of that, like, in my junior high and high school years. Um, but I was mostly, kept to my books and, always did well in school.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that about the music and theater stuff because I feel like, everyone that kind of I mean, that dives into YouTube in general, but like with ASMR, it's kind of like they've got this, creative aspect to them and like producing ASMR content is like itching that drive to just produce something creative, right? So I'm guessing it's the same with you.
Yeah,
Um
absolutely.
yeah, so you said you were quite interested with medical stuff, and then you had this incident happen, and you kind of more veered towards physics and stuff like that. So how
Mhm.
did that passion translate into like what you wanted to be, and kind of, I guess, like how did you end up doing what you did at university?
Um, it was kind of like a random thing, to be honest. I was talking to my admissions counselor for several weeks, and I was actually going to go into college undeclared because I didn't know really what I wanted to do too much. I just knew that
Okay.
pre-med was not going to be for me.
Right.
But then he called me again, and he's just like, "You can get a really good scholarship if you just declare a major." And so I was like, physics."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because
So and then it just ended up being a really great thing for me. So it
yeah.
stayed.
Are you still studying now, or have you finished all your academics side of things?
So I'm not done. I have finished with my bachelor's degree. So currently I have a bachelor's in physics right now,
Okay.
just general physics,
Mm-hmm.
with the intention of hopefully getting my PhD, getting
Oh.
into a program somewhere there. So
Mm-hmm.
not sure where yet, but I've been
Yeah.
looking around.
Good luck. Did you enjoy like college in general? Was it for you? Did you enjoy like the partying and stuff like that, or are you not that type of person?
I didn't really party too much. I went to a smaller private college,
Mm-hmm.
university, so there wasn't really many activities to go to. Um, but I really enjoyed the academic aspect of it. My professors, they were great. They always pushed me to go outside of the box, so I was able to get a lot of opportunities in research outside of the school, with another university, and then
Yeah.
with a couple other peers. So um, I definitely had a lot of opportunities in that area, and I would say I enjoyed the academic aspect of it for the most part
For
up
the most
until the very end.
Yeah, it gets super stressful at the end. I've been there.
Yeah. Mhm.
So like, what's the situation at the minute? Because like you say, you're still working towards this PhD. You're doing ASMR. Do you work as well, or is it just them things that you're focusing on?
So after I graduated college about 2 years ago, and right after that, I decided to give myself a break for a little while just because I was so burnt out and there was a lot of things that I needed to take care of in my own personal life that
Yeah.
it was just I wasn't gonna I feel like continuing in that field for like right after the other I just didn't feel like that was gonna work for me. So
Mm-hmm.
I gave myself a break, got myself mentally stable again. And then the following year, I actually got a job as a math teacher for high school. So I
Okay.
did that for a year. And then now um, I recently got married. My husband has a full time job, which allows me to stay at home and actually focus on YouTube. So,
Perfect. Yeah, because I know you've been streaming and stuff, and we'll get into that later.
yeah.
So like I said at the start, this journey, this ASMR journey, anyway, started while you were in college. So like, how did you come across ASMR in the first place? And do you have like a first video that stands out? It's like, okay, this was the one that I watched.
Actually, yeah, I remember pretty clearly. It's kind of weird, but it
Weird is
started
good.
out. I know I was watching this BuzzFeed video of all things, and it was like this weird video of like how to give somebody a hand massage.
Okay.
And I don't know why, but I just like kept watching it, and I was going through one of my most stressful semesters in college at the
Hmm.
time. And I don't know what happened. It was just like watching it or something gave me just like this overwhelming like sensation of like calmness.
Hmm.
So I would watch it like over and over, and then pretty soon it was like I need more of this. So I started looking up like massage videos on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And I came across the channel Psyche Truth.
Right. Okay.
And they do a lot of like those kind of things. Massages, head massages. And so I started watching them, and that was kind of when they started putting ASMR into their titles and
Titles.
into
Yep.
their channel name. I kind of looked more into what it was.
Right. And
Um,
then you just get lost
yeah,
in the rabbit hole, right?
Yeah, yeah, and then from there, I went to, Maria, Gentle Whispering, and then Karuna Satori, and,
Hmm.
kinda just took off from there.
Everyone says gentle whispering. It's just like it's a classic.
Yeah.
So
She's the OG.
yeah, exactly. So I'm guessing, like you said, it's very stressful. It's a very stressful time. Going through college and stuff like that. I'm guessing that's what made you stay for more because you found this thing that kind of relaxed you, right? And then it was like it was your thing that helped you. I'm guessing that's what made you stay.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you still, because obviously at the time it was a mental outlet for you, but do you still rely on that now? Like, do you still rely on ASMR now, or is it kind of more just like you just like ASMR in general, so you still watch it?
It depends day to day. I've had, like, chronic anxiety since I was, like, 10. It's
Hmm.
just kinda something that I've lived with, it never goes away. So,
Yeah.
finding these videos have definitely, been therapeutic for me just in general. So sometimes I'll watch them when I'm just, feeling anxious for no reason. But for the most part, I have a pretty good hold on my anxiety right now, so I haven't really had the need
Right.
to watch them.
Yeah.
Um, I actually haven't watched very many of them in the past few months.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mostly do it based on need.
Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, because I mean, I remember, when I was doing my degree and stuff, I used to, if I was revising or doing anything like that, I would always have it on. And then like now, there's none of that anymore. I'm not as stressed or anxious as I was. So I normally just put ASMR on before I go to bed now, just because it's nice to
Mhm.
sleep to.
Yeah.
But there's definitely been a drop off in like the amount I consume.
Mhm.
So how did it? What was the process for you in terms of going from a viewer to thinking, actually, hang on a second, like I can do this myself? What was that process?
I thought about doing it for I think a year before I finally decided to, just film my first video.
Yeah.
I I was watching it. I've always been told that I have a really soft speaking voice, very calming voice. People
Hmm.
used to volunteer me to read in class because it would make them fall asleep.
You were
So
destined. You were destined for this.
yeah, so I was just like, well, and I'm a pretty empathetic person, I guess I would say.
Right.
So I kind of knew like what to do. It was kind of like a natural thing for me. I was really nervous the first time I did it, but like it kind of came just like naturally to me. Like this, like the quiet, calming stuff has always been, kind of who I am anyway.
Yeah.
So um it did take a year to finally get up the courage to do it,
Yeah.
but, yeah, I thought about it, like, a couple months into watching it, and then I made a channel for myself, and then I think, like, a month or 2 later, I actually posted a video,
Isn't it
so
nice? Did you have like any early expectations going in? Did you put pressure on yourself to be like, okay, this is what I want to achieve in this time, or was it kind of just like, look, I like watching this. I just want to do it for fun and just see how it goes. Which of those was it?
I really just wanted to do it to help other people,
Yeah.
in a way that ASMR had helped me so much.
Yeah.
I just kinda wanted to give back to the community. I didn't really have any expectations. I knew a lot of people were getting into it at the time too. Me and like a bunch of other girls and guys were all starting our channels at the same time. So
Right.
I didn't really have too much as far as expectations go. I just kind of did it for the people and for myself. And um, filming those videos in a way helped me relax too. So it was kind of like, I don't know, a win win for me.
Yeah, no, I definitely hear you with the kind of giving back thing. That's exactly why I wanted to start as well because I lent on it so much when I was in a bad place. So and I'm very empathetic as well, so I get that. Did you have? I mean, I guess you watched a lot of creators. Did any of them inspire you to maybe, I guess, not only start but also give you kind of ideas for how you wanted to produce your content, if that makes sense?
No, in the year that I was watching them before I started my channel, I was watching a bunch of different people, kind of figuring out what I liked personally.
Right.
But mostly when I started, I kind of was thinking, well, I want to do something different that nobody else has really done in the community.
Hmm.
But then also, like, I knew what I personally liked. Like, I liked whisper videos. I liked tapping. I liked that kind of stuff. So I wanted to incorporate the stuff that I liked into it as well because I knew how to do that and I knew what I liked. And I figured
That's
if I like that, other people do. So,
Yeah, I think that's the perfect recipe, and I feel like anyone watching, I would definitely, who's thinking about making their own channel, I would definitely take on board what Caroline said there, and just do what you're passionate about, do what you like, because you kind of know, you know what's good about it, and you know how you can apply yourself and your own personality. Because at the end of the day, that's the most unique thing that you can bring to your videos is yourself, right? So perfect. Did you have anyone, family, friends, probably your boyfriend at the time, or maybe not? Did they give you any push to like start as well?
um, actually, no,
No.
not at all.
Did you keep it quiet?
I I did. I had talked to my boyfriend at the time, about it. He thought it was really weird. He is now my ex-boyfriend.
Oh,
So,
well.
but, that's long gone. But, my parents, my friends, they all thought it was really weird. Like, I had showed them or I had talked a little bit about it, but they just thought that ASMR was super weird. So I
They
kinda
all
just
do.
kept it to myself for a long time.
Hmm.
I actually didn't tell my mom that I or anybody really that I made a channel until I posted like my first few videos. I told her I was like, I made a channel, and she's just like, oh, well, okay. They didn't really start getting excited until until I started making money. So
Oh, but I wonder why. Yeah, yeah. It's convenient that no. Um,
no, they're good people though.
no. Yeah, it's true what you're saying though. You're kind of reluctant to tell people because you just know they just know what they're gonna say, and they're gonna think it's weird because if you don't have like an open personality, um, people are just gonna go down that route.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's sad. But yeah, that kind of concludes the past section. I'm gonna move on to what I call the present, even though it's basically still in the past. And for this section, basically what I do is I kind of look at the videos page on your YouTube channel, and I go all the way back to the start, and I kind of work my way through. So let's start with the first video. It's titled TDSE, which I'm actually disappointed in myself that I didn't remember what that stands for, but I'm pretty sure it's like it's like an equation, right? It's
Yeah. It's the time dependent Schrodinger equation.
right, yeah. It's funny because I actually did like degree level physics as well, so I feel like I should know
Ah.
that.
It's
But it's
okay.
but it's yeah, TDSE talk, whispers, soft spoken, tapping, writing, hand movement, and quite amazingly, it has 46,000 views, which is a lot for a first video. And I love that you kept your first video up because I think it says a lot about creators. Because a lot of creators normally delete it because it's too cringe. Have you ever thought about taking it down, or do you like the fact that it's there?
Um, Actually, I have never taken any of my videos down except for one, and it was only because it showed my last name in it.
Oh,
I like
okay.
keeping my content up. I like seeing how far I've come,
Yeah.
my progression, and then I also like seeing the analytics, like what was doing well and what wasn't. And
Hmm.
I don't know. I just think it's nice to
Yeah.
have, and I'm not embarrassed by it. I laugh at it, but you know,
No, it's like you said.
I think it's nice.
Yeah, it's like you said. It's definitely nice to kind of look back and think, okay, this is where I've come from, and this is what I've achieved, and you can be
Yeah,
proud of that, right? So
it's nostalgic.
yeah, for sure. I'm all about that stuff. I feel like it's an empath thing that we've got going on 100% because I've still got my first video up.
Yeah.
And obviously, because I said 46,000 views, that's a lot of views. And obviously, them views have increased over time, right? You've been going for three and
Mhm.
a half years. How did it do when it first released? Because I'm imagining it's still done pretty well.
Um, it it did okay the first like, when I first posted it, I think it only got maybe, like, 4 or 500 views.
Right, okay.
And then it didn't really take off until a few months later when people were going back and looking at my old videos. That's kinda how it was for a long time.
Right, okay. I mean, like I still feel like 400, 500 views is pretty good for a first video still. You know what I mean? With
Mhm.
like, you're not coming into the space with any pushes, you know what I mean, from like external
No.
things.
And I
Uh
didn't know anybody.
yeah, exactly. Um in that video, I watched a little bit of it. You start by talking about your struggles with anxiety and just your story in general, right? And what made you want to do it in the first place. But I didn't want to watch too much because I didn't want to spoil myself because I'm like asking the same questions. But you looked super anxious during it, which I think is normal. I look back at mine and I'm exactly the same. Did it take a lot to film that video in the first place?
It did. It was a lot of retakes,
Right.
lots of retakes, and, just trying to get everything perfect. I've learned now that you don't have to make a perfect video for it to be good.
No.
So, but
Often the ones
during
that
that
aren't
time, I
are the
was
ones that
like
do well. Yeah, sorry.
I had, like, a script, like, sticky noted on the side of my I actually filmed that first video. I think part of it was on my bed, and then the other part was on my desk. So,
Yeah.
the very beginning, I had, like, a little script, and I couldn't see the script, so then I was just, like, winging it, and, yeah, I was pretty nervous, but also, like, excited.
Excited. Yeah. It's a I don't want to call it a nice blend, but it's definitely a blend of them two feelings.
It's a blend.
Yeah. I mean, because what I normally do, right, is I normally look back at people's videos and I try to see like kind of when things started to gain traction and when views started to go up. But honestly, all of your super early videos have amazing views. So like I know you said they didn't originally, so like everyone loves apparently going back to your early videos and just watching them. So it's hard to find when you actually blew up, right? But after just 2 months of uploading, from what I could see anyway, you had a video surpass six figures, which obviously people don't know that's over 100,000 views, which is crazy for like 2 months. And again, obviously that's increased over time. But the video is titled "ASMR Relaxing Math: The Unit Circle," and it actually has 345,000 views. Um, That's crazy. This obviously wasn't your first, educational video that you'd done, but what made you want to
Mhm.
combine studying and ASMR together in the first place?
It was mostly just because that's what I was doing at the time. I was
That's what I
in
thought.
I was in calculus. I had just started my quantum mechanics courses that year. Um, I was taking a lot of physics and math courses that whole year that I just thought, hey, why not
Hmm.
combine both things that I like both things and I need to study anyway, so
Yeah.
why not?
Yeah, because I mean, like you say, you'd have before you started doing your own ASMR, you'd have been studying while listening to ASMR. So it's like, okay, let's
Mhm.
just transition that into an actual video.
Yeah, mhm,
And honestly, it's a beautiful thing when you read the comments. People just love it. People comment because I look for the comments and people were like, "Oh, this is so different, but it actually makes me want to study and stuff like that, and it's helping me get
mm,
through, this revision that I'm doing." And I love that. I really do. And
mhm.
obviously it's worked for you. Um, your best educational video is actually titled on brand Quantum Relaxation, which has 600,000 views. Insane. Where you talk
Wow.
about the time independent, I'm going to butcher this word, perturb I can't say it, perturbation theory. We'll just
Oh,
ignore that. Where you,
perturbation.
yeah, what? I seen it when I was looking, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to listen to like a pronunciation of this, and I still couldn't do it.
Okay.
Um, and you're writing down like formulas and going through stuff like that. Why do people love these videos so much? Do you think? What is it?
I don't know, I mean, it definitely is something different. I Before I started making those kind of videos, I really hadn't seen anything like it in the community, so it
Yeah.
was, some type of new content. Also, what kinda geared me into making videos like that was I would sit in my lectures, in lecture halls, and just the sorry to my professors, but just the sound of their voice and talking about these equations and stuff, it would make me really sleepy.
Yeah.
So I was like, "I'm sure." people will get the same vibe. So
Yeah. Well, I bet professors and teachers hated you because you were actually, people were meant to be revising, but you were just sending them to sleep
I
instead.
know. I know. I feel kind of bad, but oh well.
um, where are we? Is it is it mind blowing to know that you're basically just doing like a whispered commentary of you studying and getting like that many views, like 600,000 views of you basically kind of doing what you would normally do anyway? Is that crazy to think about when you say it like that?
Yeah, back during that day, and during my college days, it definitely was something that was like I never thought it would come to that. I mostly just did it, like I said, to help people and to help myself. And I wasn't really too worried or really thinking too much about numbers. So when it did take off, it was kind of a cool feeling,
Yeah,
to know that people were actually wanting to watch me do
do
my
that.
calculus equations. And then but also like people would relate and like tell me like they were studying with me. And I don't know, it was just kind of a nice way to, relate to people, I guess, especially in the college setting.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I try to analyze when things started to like blow up and stuff. Do you have like a point in time when that started to happen? Was it after a couple of months? Was it a certain video?
Yeah, so it actually was the unit circle video.
Oh, okay.
Before then, I had been getting like up to maybe like 500 views. I think something reached maybe 1,000,
Okay.
if that.
Right.
And I was like getting close to 1,000 subscribers, but I don't remember how many I actually had. It wasn't 1,000 yet.
Mm-hmm.
But when I uploaded that unit circle video, which is funny because it's like it's one of my more basic math videos.
Mm-hmm.
So but people like the basic stuff. So when I uploaded it, I didn't really think anything of it. It was kind of just like all my other ones. And then I think it was like 2 days later, um, my sister pointed out to me that it had 100,000 views on it, and I was like, "What?" And then this like subs just started coming in, and
Right.
I did a thank you for 1,000 subscribers
I seen
video,
that.
and then
Yeah.
literally like 2 days later, I was like, "Thanks for 2,000." So yeah, that was kind of like the point that it took off. I honestly I have no clue um how that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The
I'm
algorithm
happy
just
it
caught
did.
fire. You were like Katniss
Yeah.
Everdeen over there.
Yeah.
I mean, that must be like such a shock to the system, right? Getting, like you say, 500, maybe 1,000 on a good day views to then getting like 100,000 views on this video. Like, I don't even know how you react
Yeah.
to that. You just,
It was weird. It was weird for sure. And that's when everybody, like my friends and family, they kinda just started, like, saying, like, "Hmm, maybe this could be something." But
yeah, yeah. I always talk about the guest's like most popular video, and for you, that video is titled ASMR paired triggers, tapping and whispers, which broke the holy seven-figure mark, and it has 1.1 million views to date. What makes that video so special that makes it A, have the most views, but also B, like surpass 1 million in the first place? You don't know.
honestly,
You
I
don't know.
couldn't tell you
No idea.
because it's just, on I didn't think that video was that good, to be honest, but, people liked it. I don't know, it was kind of like it had a warm vibe to it, and it was kind of like the start of a series that I'd wanted to do with paired triggers, like just 2 triggers at a time,
Mm-hmm.
so it was something again, like something new that I was trying, but yeah, honestly, I don't know how
Just
it I didn't even know it was 1.1 million, so
that's what it's on currently.
Oh, okay.
I'm guessing with like videos like that, you still get like so many views like every single day, just people watching it. Because it's funny, like every time I get a guest on, like I do research on their channel, and then because I'm clicking on their videos, like what the YouTube algorithm's like, and I'm just seeing your videos all the time pop up now. It's like, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Because it's the thing for me with that video was I mean, I guess I mean, even now, but like obviously then as well, you were mainly known for these educational videos that you were doing, right? But this was just a standard triggers video. Like,
Yeah,
why is this your number one when it's just triggers? What you don't know? You have no idea.
that's a great question. I
Was it
wish I knew.
was it maybe like because you'd done these educational videos and you kind of then done like a classic ASMR video, people just wanted to see you doing that? Maybe
That could be.
that
That
could have
could
been it.
be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I noticed was your top 5 videos of all time in terms of views, right, are all from your first year of filming.
Yeah.
Did you
Mhm.
know that? And does that cross your mind at all to say like, what am I doing wrong now? How do I get back there? Do you ever think about? Do you have them thought processes?
All the time. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times, I don't know, it is very difficult, because it kind of almost feels like I peaked
Right.
within the first few months
Mm-hmm.
of starting the channel, but then I don't know. I kinda understand why though, because I do and have in the past taken quite a bit of time off, between some recordings,
Yeah.
and, um, I think inconsistency has a huge, part in it, um, but yeah, I mean, it's a little discouraging, but I kind of mostly right now I'm focusing on how I'm doing, like, presently and, like, within or at least within the last, like, 6 months or so.
Right. Yeah. Because you've been going on for so long. Like, what are the biggest challenges as a creator? After uploading for like 3.5 years, because you know what I mean. There's stuff like burnout and things like that. What are your biggest challenges?
Um, my biggest challenges, just the anxiety of posting, and I I did take a couple breaks, when I think the first break I took was, I wanna say, like, right after I uploaded my, scare series, my very first ones,
Right.
because I mean, I knew that they weren't gonna do well, but they didn't do very well, and, I lost a few subscribers, not too many, but,
Mm-hmm.
a decent amount for me to, like, freak out.
Right.
So I kinda just, like and also during that time, that was my last year of college, and I was, like, also stressing out about that, so I just kinda, like, took a break for a couple months, and then kinda after that is when it, you know, started to change. It wasn't ever, the same, like, the numbers were never the same. I'd hit, like, a couple 100,000 at some times, but, it seems like, right after I take, like, super long breaks is when I have to, like, start building up my view
Yeah,
count again.
that's the thing, isn't it? With YouTube, they just want you to keep posting and posting and posting. And
Yeah,
like,
mhm.
you see creators that maybe go on holiday, they'll pre-record just so they have content that's still going, right? Because it's like it
Yeah,
sucks to just not upload for so long.
mhm.
So I guess that's challenging. And like you say, your kind of hand was twisted, right, with the degree stuff, because I know how stressful that is, and
Yeah,
trying to like think back to that and then run a YouTube channel at the same time. I couldn't do it. So you definitely done the healthy thing to like stop doing it, but at the same time, it's like then you still you're still confronted by these challenges to get going again. But
mhm.
um, I think it must be hard, right? Like I don't know what it's like to be in that position, but I feel like you've got the tools to get back to that point 100%. And I feel like the more time that you have freed up, like you said, you kind of not need to work anymore. I think you can get to that point 100%, and
Yeah,
I'll be
mhm.
backing you. I was
Thank
trying
you.
to think like when I started watching your channel, because I feel like I got into ASMR just after maybe you started, so like maybe like around the 1 year mark, because I got into ASMR and I remember watching a lot of you and um, Sophie Michelle.
Mm,
And I
mhm.
feel like you guys were like, just, I don't, I mean, I came across you guys first. So you're obviously doing well at the time. But yeah, I want to see you do well again, 100%.
Thank you.
What are your favorite videos to film personally? What do you like the best?
Oh, um I actually really like doing the educational ones, a lot.
Hmm.
I like doing the research for them. I'm in the process of editing one right now, actually, so
Okay.
it's nice to get back into that. Um, yeah, I think those would be my favorite. My second favorite, and like I said, I know they don't get a lot of views, but my scare series videos,
Right.
those are
They're cool.
just fun, and it's like the only time I do like role playing videos because I don't really do that too much,
Mm-hmm.
but
Because you're doing
it's
the
like the one
siren
month
one,
I
right?
do. Yeah, last year. Yeah,
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, we should. Yeah, I like
thanks.
believe in yourself. I feel like with role players though, you kind of just want to go all out, and I like suck at like
Yeah,
cosplay and stuff like that. So that always discourages me because I'm like, well, I can't do this as good as I want to. Uh, do you have you
that's why
thought?
I make up my own characters. So.
Yeah. Do you have you ever thought about doing like a like a maths teacher role play, a physics teacher role play, and like I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I think I've done one math one where it was like big sister helps you with your
Okay.
calculus homework, and then I've done a physics one where the physics professor helps you do something, or
Mm-hmm.
you meet in their office, and, yeah, so I haven't really done those. Those are a little bit uncomfortable for me, just because my comments are always like, "This looks like leading up to, like, a porn video or something." So,
Really?
yeah,
Okay.
so,
Well,
like, I
I
just, like
I wouldn't read too
it's
much
really
into
weird.
that. That says more about the person commenting than it does about your videos. That's just
Yeah, but it also, like, role plays, they're just, not super comfortable for me
yeah, you
when
have
it
a hard
comes to
time.
stuff like that.
Yeah, that's fair. Because when I think about what's popular with ASMR at the minute, it's like medical role players, right? It's these cranial nerve exams, eye examinations, or it's like a fantasy role play and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But it's hard. It is hard to do them. It's hard to just film yourself in the first place, but to then
yeah.
put on this other character and just get right into it. It's definitely nerve wracking. So I feel you there. What are your favorite videos to watch personally? What do you like to watch?
I like, the head massage videos, those are probably my favorite, pretty much anything Karuna Satori does,
You big
I
Korean
love
fan?
her.
Okay, yeah.
Um, and, I like when, like, GB, she does, like, the flutter fingers,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched her videos in a while, but I like some of her old content, um, but yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Do, do you feel like do you feel like you receive ASMR differently now? I know you've been a creator for a while, but once you get into this space as a creator, do you view ASMR differently compared to what you did before you were a creator? If you know what I'm trying to say there.
Yeah, very much so. Number one is because I've actually been in contact with some of the creators that I've watched before. So I don't know what it is, but for me to like watch somebody that I've already like spoken to and like have a connection with, it's a little weird for
It's
me.
crazy, isn't it?
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so it's definitely different. So I do try to find other people that like I haven't talked to or I don't really know on a personal
I
level or
feel.
even acquaintance level.
Yeah.
So that's been a little bit challenging, but
Yeah.
it's definitely different. I also watch with the mindset of like, oh, I like this, maybe I'll try this, or not to like steal content, but like, try to
Yeah.
see what I like and like see how I can make it my own.
Yeah, no, I completely relate to what you're saying about you kind of get this personal connection and then it kind of becomes weird, which I feel like it's when you show people ASMR and it's I don't know, it's a video of you. That's why it's automatically weird because it's like you on the camera anyway. It's like someone, it's like your friends like watching you do it. It's kind of just weird anyway. So yeah, don't get into ASMR because it'll ruin your ASMR viewer experience. Basically, is what we're saying.
Sadly.
Do you have like your favorite creators? What creators do you like admire the most? I know you said Karuna and stuff like that.
Yeah, she's definitely one of my top people. I don't really know. I'm like drawing a blank on every single creator I've watched. Um,
There is a lot now. To be fair,
yeah,
there's a lot of
I
people out there.
know. I still go back and watch the Psyche Truth videos from time to time. I still
Hmm.
like their content.
Are they like a pure ASMR channel now?
I don't think
It's
so. They
kind of
do they
just
do a couple other things, but it's mostly relaxation.
right.
So, um, yeah, so I watch them still. I watch this girl, her name's Rena, Relax with Rena. She's been posting
Okay.
longer than I have.
Yeah.
And she's kind of a smaller channel, but I really like her a lot too. Um, yeah, that's about it
That's
for
about it.
now.
That's okay. So the next thing I want to talk about is like you've recently moved, right? What can you tell us
Yeah.
about that? Have you moved to a new city with your partner? Is that what's happened? You don't need to name
Uh,
names or anything, by the way.
yeah, so I did. I lived in Michigan. I've lived in Michigan almost my whole life. Went to school in South Carolina,
Okay.
moved back to Michigan, and then now I'm in Texas with my husband who just walked in the
Texas.
door. So so yeah, it's a huge change from Michigan.
hmm
It's a lot hotter down here.
Right, I can
Um,
imagine that. Yeah.
but surprisingly not as bad as South Carolina. So I'm
Really?
happy.
So
Yeah.
it's still hot in Texas, but not as hot. Is that's what you're saying?
Yeah, it's not as humid.
Not as humid.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know I feel like I've heard the internet's good in Texas as well. Can you confirm or deny?
It's a lot better here than it is in Michigan, I'll say
Michigan,
that.
right? Yeah. Because I mean, I follow like a lot of what you call it, like video game streamers
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
professional esports and stuff, and they all tend to like move to Texas because it's just good.
They're
It's
all
good.
moving to Dallas, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the other thing I heard was the taxes aren't as like bad in Texas and stuff like that, right?
Um, yeah, that's right. I don't know too much about
About
that.
that. Yeah.
I yeah, but that's what I've heard.
That's what you've heard. But because how long have you been there now? Sorry,
Um, Actually only 3 weeks.
only
We
three
just
weeks.
moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, mhm.
So is it? I mean, because that's stressful in itself, right? Moving house and stuff like that. What's that
Yeah,
been like?
yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a whirlwind. So first, my husband and I got married like literally less than a week before we moved to Texas. So
Wow.
just
Okay.
leading up to that,
Quick
I know it
turnaround.
was like super quick engagement. And then we went to Texas to try to look for an apartment, found an apartment. 2 weeks later, we got married. Week later, or less than a week later, we drove down to Texas, um, signed on our apartment lease, and then moved in. And he started work like 2 days after. And yeah, it's just it's been
A
we're on
whirlwind.
we're
Yeah.
on week 3 now of living here, so it's definitely been
Crazy.
crazy,
Yeah.
but it also feels like we've been here for a really long time already, so I guess that's good.
That's a good sign. Like, because what I was gonna ask is, do you just feel? I know it's been very stressful, but do you feel like happier in general, like with the move?
I definitely feel more relaxed.
Relaxed. Yeah.
I am coming from moving out of my parents'
Family
home,
home.
and
I guess that's hard.
during yeah, and, like, during that whole time when I moved back home, and then all that stuff happening in the world. My 2 of my siblings moved back home too, so then there was just, like, super crowded house.
hmm
I had no time or energy to film, and even if I could film, somebody was always doing something, so there was, like, no quiet, and so that was always stressful, and then just, like, my family, I have a big family in general,
Okay.
and they are not the most calm people, so it's
Yeah.
very hard to stay relaxed. So I've definitely noticed a huge change in like how I
hmm
feel
Yeah.
since moving out. And I guess you could say happier. I mean, of course I miss my family and,
Right.
friends and stuff, but it's an
Small
exciting new
doses.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and like I feel like as this podcast goes on, there's definitely a lot of similarities in how we are together. So like you talking about that situation, I it just sounds completely overwhelming to me. So I'm I'm not surprised that it's felt like probably like a weight off your shoulders to get out. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Definitely
that's
has.
great. What does your obviously you don't need to go to specifics, but what does your husband do for work?
Um I kind of know it's like logistics, and that's about as much as I
That's
know.
all you know.
Yeah, he has a degree in, marketing and management, and
Right.
his minor was in engineering, and,
Okay.
um, yeah, he got this job, and then we moved out here real quick, and Yeah, I feel really sad, kinda dumb that I don't know, but I don't really know too much about that kinda stuff.
That's fine. That's cool. Because you have, I think you posted on your Instagram story, if I'm correct, about you've got like a studio now to do the ASMR in.
Yeah, actually, this
This
is
is it.
kind of like my office space in the works, obviously, but back there is where I film. Took down my pictures for another video, but yeah, this is kind of like my filming slash streaming room
Streamings.
now. So
That's
it's
perfect.
really cool.
It's
It's
not.
nice to not have it in my bedroom.
Yeah, because then you can kind of just differentiate the two and kind of shut one
Yeah,
off and stuff like that. It's
especially since I'm working, full time from home now. It's just nice to not just to have different spaces because it
yeah.
just gives a different vibe, I guess.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna ask, because I live in the UK and I live in the north of the UK, so it doesn't really get very hot. But when it does, I
Mhm.
hate it. I hate being too hot. But then I think about you and like the States and living in Texas and like having to
Mhm,
film. Is that like a challenge? Because obviously you guys have got AC built in, but then at
mhm.
the same time you can't have the AC on because it makes too much noise. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I was kind of fighting that in my last video that I filmed. It's just it's definitely a challenge. When I close these doors, it gets really hot
Mm,
in here, and I start sweating, and then my camera overheats. So that's definitely a problem.
right.
But I think what has helped is cranking the AC on, getting it really cold in the house, and just like opening all the doors and letting it flow.
Hmm.
And then right before I'm about to record, I
Boom, and
just
you
turn
just
it
knock it
back
off.
up and it just goes off. So
Yeah,
that's been pretty helpful. Yeah.
yeah.
That's about it though.
I just always wondered about things like that. I'm like, I couldn't cope, couldn't cope. But it's like it's got.
There's more of a oh, sorry.
Go on.
There's more of a challenge on people painting the walls outside
Oh, okay.
than the air
Does
conditioning.
it
So
does it cool down on a nighttime, or is it still fairly like humid?
it gets into, like, the 80s, so I think today it's, like I don't know, it's been, like, 100 degrees for the past couple days, but it cools down, like, 20, 30 degrees
Okay,
at night, so it's not too bad,
not
but
too bad.
I'm in AC most of the day, so it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, no, AC is savior. Um,
Yeah.
right. Let's talk. I know we've talked a little bit outside of ASMR there with that last topic, but I want to know about Caroline outside of ASMR. What is she doing in terms of like hobbies and interests? What do you get up to?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Well, aside from ASMR, I do a lot of, like, art. I like to paint,
Okay.
I like to draw, um, all that kinda stuff, and, of course, I like to learn stuff, so I do a lot of, like I don't really care to read so
Mm-hmm.
much, but I do like reading, like, educational stuff,
Okay.
so I do that kinda stuff. I cook a lot
Yeah.
now. So I actually really enjoy cooking though, so, yeah, that's pretty much
What
how
do
my time's being filled.
What do we like to cook? What's your favorite dish?
Um, Good question.
Good question.
There's a couple different ones. I
Uh-huh.
I like a lot of Italian stuff, and I like a lot of Mexican stuff.
Oh, Italian's
I
my
grew
favorite.
up I grew up, eating a lot of Mexican food, so I really like doing, like, that kinda stuff,
Yeah.
but then also I grew up with a lot of Italian food. My mom, she was, like, so good at cooking, like, everything she touched turned to gold, so
Mum's
I've
always
kind
that
of, like,
though.
just tried to, like, take after her and her cooking skills, but she made a lot of Italian and Mexican food, so that's
Yeah.
kinda what I do.
Yeah, parents and like grandparents always have the best food, just the best recipes. It's like
Yeah, for
so
sure,
good.
my mom for sure.
Yeah. And are you guys like vegetarian or vegan or anything like that? Do you have to deal with?
No,
No.
mm-mm.
Same. Same.
I have nothing against it, it's just that's not for me.
That's not. Yeah, that's cool.
Mhm.
Um, are you like into watching TV shows, films, anything like that?
Yeah, so right now, my husband and I are going through the, Supernatural
Oh, okay.
series.
Never seen that, but I
I've
know it's a
already
popular one. Yeah.
I've already seen it,
Oh,
once before, but I'm watching it again with him
you
'cause
like it so
I
much.
enjoy I enjoy that kinda stuff a lot. I actually used to watch a lot of Doctor Who back in the day.
Ooh, an English show.
So, I know, I loved it, it was great,
Who's your favorite Doctor?
uh, 10. I mean,
You like
how
Tennant?
can it not
Yeah.
yeah.
He probably is as well. See, I really enjoyed. I don't know if you watched Christopher Eccleston, but I think he was a good Doctor as well.
He was good, yeah, I actually didn't start by watching him, I started watching
Watching
with David Tennant, and
David
then I was
Tennant.
like, I'll go back and watch the
They're both
original
very
ones," and
good.
I was like, I
Yeah.
really enjoyed it, but I really enjoyed Eleven's storyline the most.
Hmm.
So that storyline was kinda cool to follow, um, but David Tennant's my favorite one.
Yeah. Well, I'm not super like geek when it comes to Doctor Who, but I do know some stuff. Like, do you have a favorite, like, I guess, villain or creature? Right? Is that right?
Uh,
What do you like?
probably the Angels.
Probably the Weeping Angels.
Yeah, because
They're
those are the ones that
scary.
freaked me out the most when I first watched them, so,
Yeah.
yeah. I
I
like the creepy stuff like that though,
yeah.
so.
I like the. Is it the Ood with like the tentacle faces?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about those.
Yeah, they're pretty. Because there's one episode right where one of the guys gets turned into one. And that was so creepy.
Yeah,
And apparently
yeah.
they shot it. They shot it originally, and they ended up cutting it out because it was like apparently too gruesome for camera. So like, because it's meant to be like
Huh.
kind of like a kids thing as well. It's not like an 18 plus
Yeah.
show. So
Mhm.
that was always creepy as a kid. But I remember um, the one episode stands out for me. I think they're in a library, and they've all got like these space suits on. But
Yeah.
there's like these shadow monsters called, I think they're called the Vashtanarada. They're like shadow
Yeah.
piranhas. I
Yeah,
love that
mhm.
episode. I don't know if I'm guessing you know which I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
that was the one where they first introduced,
River Song.
River Song, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
See, I do know some things.
It's been a really long time since I've
Yeah.
watched, but,
No,
um,
I stopped watching like halfway through Matt Smith. I think I haven't
I
seen it
stopped
since.
watching halfway through Capaldi, so.
Okay. Okay, so you're bit fresher than me. So like Supernatural, do you like things like Stranger Things, stuff like that?
Yes, I loved that series too. After we're done with Supernatural, I'm gonna try to get him to watch that.
Oh, is he
Um,
not big into these?
no, he does like them. It's just, he's never watched
He's
anything like
never got
this,
around
so
to it. Yeah.
yeah, so
I
I'm
love
just introducing him
I
to the
love it.
wonderful world of yeah. So, I like stuff like that. I like horror films.
Yes. But it's got to like the thing with horror films is it can't be like low budget. It's got to be well produced.
Oh,
Do you like
I like
cheesy
the low
horror?
budget too.
You like
I
cheesy
like
horror?
it.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I like it all. I like it all. I think it's fun. It just adds to like the Halloween
No, no.
spooky, scary skeleton vibe.
It
It's
makes me
I love stuff like that. It's so cringy,
oh
but it's
no.
hilarious.
I can't get away. No,
I love all those old 80s films.
oh no, that's not. I mean, that's not too bad. If it's like a
And
classic,
then
like if it's like a classic horror movie from the 80s, where it's like,
or like the low budget film on like one video camera.
oh no, no, my toes are curling.
I think those are great. I think they're funny.
I think my favorite horror film is The Conjuring.
Oh, I love those.
Yeah, because
Mhm.
I like it when it's because it's like them ones are based on a true story as well, right? Because
Yeah, mhm,
yeah, so like I kind of like
kind of.
that aspect of it. Yeah, yeah, it's kind of. And then I know it's not really like too horror-y, but I like. Have you seen Get Out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's kind of like more
I
like
loved that.
dark thriller than horror, but it's like
Yeah.
kind of horror a little
It's
bit.
like a I don't know if I'd call it a psychological thriller,
No,
but
it's not
it's
even that.
definitely like
Yeah.
it's like kinda in that
So
category, but
good.
not quite.
So
It's
good
so
though.
good.
Yeah.
Mhm. I
Yeah.
love the Jordan Peele stuff,
Oh,
so
he's a great director for sure.
mhm.
Nice. Okay. I feel like I've got to know you a little bit better, and hopefully everyone else has watching. Um, I guess to round this section off, I always ask the guest if you have any tips for people that are maybe thinking about starting their own channel or already in the process of it. What's kind of the main things you would tell them when it comes to starting an ASMR channel?
Um, I would say start out by doing what you personally feel like is relaxing to you.
Like you touched on before,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, I would say that, but also don't be afraid to, kind of go out of your shell and like out of the norm and don't be afraid to try new things. And also consistency is a big thing, obviously, as you can see with my channel. uh, that has a lot to do with it. But also, like, don't be afraid to take a break if you absolutely need one, because
Yeah.
people are very understanding in this community. So,
Yeah. Good advice. Good, solid advice. I like it. So that kind of rounds out the present section, and we're going to move on to the future. It always sounds
okay.
ominous. So I guess to start off with, is there any things that you definitely want to do in terms of ASMR videos that you haven't had the chance to do yet, like styles, genres, themes of videos, or going forward, is it kind of just going to be more of the same type of content?
Um, I definitely want to challenge myself to think outside of the box in the future, especially now that I have so much time on my hands for this year anyway. I want to get more creative with my stuff. I want to kind of work on my graphics skills
Okay.
and my audio engineering skills.
Hmm.
Um, I'm really bad at both right now, so
It's a learning process, isn't it?
Definitely, yeah. So now that I have more time, I'd like to kind of get more into that kind of
To that.
stuff.
Yeah. What programs do you use at the minute for that type of thing?
Um, right now, I'm just using Adobe Premiere Pro, and then I have Audacity. I have Logic on my laptop, but I haven't really used that at all. So
Okay.
it's more of like a music kind of thing.
Right.
Um, but yeah, Premiere Pro and Audacity are like my two
You
main
go
things
with
that
it.
I'm working with right now.
Yeah. A lot of people use them ones.
Mhm.
I think another one is DaVinci. People use that as well. That's quite a
Oh
prominent
yeah,
one.
I've heard of that too. Yeah. Mhm.
But I mean, you can't go wrong with Premiere Pro, right? Um,
Yeah.
you
Took a
know,
while for me to figure out, but
yeah. You well,
once I did, it's been really helpful.
because it's funny because I use Premiere Elements, which is like a simplified version of Pro. I don't know if you used that originally and you've moved on to Pro or not. Um,
I used iMovie
I used
on
that
my
used
iPhone
iMovie. Okay.
before I got a camera.
No, I mean I know a lot of people do, and I know a lot of people have great success with just phone videos. So like
Yeah.
all the
I
product.
actually didn't Oh, sorry.
No, I was finished.
Oh, I actually didn't get a camera until last year, so
It was all on the phone. Wow.
yeah.
And I that just shows you like you don't need all this fancy stuff to start off with. And I think at the same time it's fine if you do. Like I get it.
Yeah.
I'm a perfectionist when it comes to that stuff. So I people are just wired that way. But it's not like the be all and end all. And I've had guests on here before that just film on the phones. There's no external mics connected, anything like that. It's just the mic and built into the phone, and they have amazing channels
Yeah.
which get amazing views. Like it's funny because I don't think I've told her this, but I always name drop her in every podcast. But like Evie ASMR, I don't know if you know who she is. She does
Mhm.
loads of like outdoor, like lo-fi, tap in videos, scratching videos, stuff like that. And I think she's got like 80,000 subscribers, something around those lines. But all her videos do really, really well, and it's just her outside with a phone, right? Like that's how easy it is.
Mhm.
But I think that's the beautiful part of ASMR is there's so many different ways of doing it and styles, and it's the great thing
Yeah.
about it.
Mhm.
So basically, I think you said right. You kind of just want to improve on the graphical side of things, editorial side of things, and stuff like that. Have you used green
Yeah.
screens before?
Yeah, especially in my scare series videos is when I first started to like dabble in that.
Right.
And a lot of times I'll just use the green screen to black out the background. So it'll be like a black background.
Right.
So it'll be like a dark video.
Yeah.
But my face still has light on it.
Hmm.
Um, I've done that quite a few times, but I'm still not great at it.
It's
So
yeah. I've never produced a video with green screen. I have a green screen, but I know my lighting isn't good enough. You've got to have good lighting, right? Um,
yeah.
it's so important for a green screen. So I've never actually produced a video yet. I only just done a test run. I was like, no, I can't put this out. I can't do it. Um,
Uh,
is there anyone in the community that you'd love to collab with? Because I didn't look and analyze every single video you've done, but I don't think I've seen a lot of collabs. So, is there anyone, and you can go as imaginative as possible with this, there's no holds barred, anyone you'd love to do a collab with? Who's your dream collab?
oh, I hmm. I'm really bad when it comes to collabs.
Uh-huh.
I I mean, you notice that I don't really have any on my channel, and it's just
Have you done any? Is it?
I have,
You have?
I did the Dream Cloud series with, ASMR Darling. I did
Okay.
that. That was one of the bigger ones, but
That must have been
I'm
cool to
trying
do a collab with her, right?
it was very cool, but I'm trying to think. I
How
don't
did
know
that
if I've
how did
actually
that come about?
other
Let's go on a tangent.
she contacted me on Twitter and asked if I wanted to be a part of the series. This was just, like, a few months after my channel was taking off, and
Yeah.
I thought it was so cool to be
Yeah, but
contacted by her, and I was like, "Oh my god, she's talking to me." So so that was a really, really cool experience, and I that was, like, my first role play ever too, and I was like, "This has to be perfect, this has to be so good," and I
the
didn't
pressure
use,
was
like, a
on.
green screen or anything. I had, like, a black back I bought a
Yep.
bunch of new equipment just for that
Just for that
video.
video. Okay.
Yeah,
Can't disappoint
um
Taylor.
yeah, yeah, I know, exactly, and, I worked really hard on that video, but it was a huge, like, strain for me, so it kind of, like it scared me into doing any other collabs.
hmm
I've had some where we've talked about it being in the works and it just kinda, like,
Just
fell
fizzled
through
out.
for me,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I think a lot of it has to do with, like, social anxiety, so,
It's tough.
it's actually kind of, like, a big thing for me to do, like, an
Yeah.
interview.
No,
So
well, I mean, I appreciate you coming on. Honestly,
no, it's great, I'm glad to be on here and getting out of my shell,
You're
but,
doing
like
great. If it means anything, by the way, you're doing fine.
thank you, but, yeah, collaborations are kind of a hard thing for me, but if I could do any, I would like to do one with Prim ASMR.
Right.
She's a sweetheart, she's so cute, and she does those role play videos, and, um, I would like to do something with her. She's, like, my main one,
Yeah.
so but really, I'd be down to, like, try, um, to do a collab with anybody,
Mm.
just as long as they're understanding and
Yeah.
giving me enough time to do it, because I get freaked out,
You
so
got it. Yeah. I know I've done a couple of collabs, and I think the worst thing is they normally, because I don't premiere my videos, but a lot of the collabs I've been a part of, they do a premiere, and I'm actually okay watching my own videos back, but if if it's a clip of me in a collab video I've done, I can't watch it, especially when it's premiering. Like, no, no, because like, you go to the premiere and you support everyone that's been there, and then like your part comes on, I'm like, no, close the laptop screen, like I'm not looking at that, I'm not even about that.
uh,
Yeah.
I feel that, I feel that. I
It's,
I was a little bit cringy when I heard myself on, Taylor's series, so
yeah, it's hard. Do you have any future projects in the works that you can talk about? Obviously you don't need to give spoilers if you can't, but anything upcoming?
Um, no collabs or anything like that in the works.
No.
If anybody comes up though, I'm sure, like, I could talk about it with them, but, nothing like that. I have more planned for, like, the educational ASMR stuff. I kinda just started, figuring out what I wanted to do for this year as far as, like, the educational stuff goes, so I'm really excited to finally be getting back into that and also, like, kinda on the level that I need to be, 'cause, last year when I was a math teacher, it was really great, but my, level went up to about pre-calculus, uh,
Okay.
as far as, like, videos go, so it was, I don't know, I'm really excited to get back into, like, quantum mechanics and, like,
Yeah.
differential equations and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so, definitely more of that coming up, and then, of course, the Scare series. I have a couple of things, in the works, very early stages right now, so I'm
hmm
really excited about it, though, and I'm
Yeah.
really excited that I get more time to actually spend on them.
It
So
sounds it. I'm so happy I'm really happy for you, honestly.
thank you.
And I always ask creators about like other forms of content that they are not currently involved with. And obviously one of them is normally streaming, but actually you've
Mhm.
just started streaming for the first time. Can you talk to us about that and how that came about?
Yeah, so I've had this Twitch stream for, I think 1 or 2 years now, but I really barely have used it.
Yeah.
I think I used it, like, once for my birthday and then, like, once for an ASMR thing, but then most of the time it's been, like, gaming and stuff, and
hmm
even then it's been, like, months on end since I, like, streamed.
Yeah, just not
Um
consistent. Yeah.
But, like yeah. But, like, now that, I have my own place and, my own space, um, it's hopefully gonna get a lot more frequent. I know, my husband and I are gonna try to do, like, a stream together on Fridays,
Hmm.
is what we're aiming for. So, every Friday, and then eventually, I would like to get on and do some ASMR on there.
Yeah.
Um, I'm not sure the days when, but I'd like to do it, like, once a week.
Yeah.
Um,
It's just something different,
but
isn't it?
yeah, it's live streaming is a lot more difficult for me, than just filming myself in front of a camera
Because you
just
can,
because
yeah, you can go
it's
at about your own pace.
yeah, it's like it's I don't know, the live aspect, uh, originally kind of freaked me out. I'm starting to get used to it a little bit more, but personally, I don't watch live streams, like, I don't watch live ASMR or
Hmm.
anything like that. So it's kind of hard for me to, like, get into it, but I'm getting more comfortable with it.
Yeah. And your husband streams as well, right?
Yeah,
He plays
he's just
Apex, is
starting
he?
now too. Yeah, he plays a lot of things. He used to be, like, really big in Call of Duty. He
Oh,
was on he was on a league, for his university, and then after that, I think he's been playing a lot of Apex and Splitgate, I wanna say? I don't know what
I
that is,
think
but
that's a new. I think that's a new a new game that's just came out. Yeah, it's like a shooter as well.
mhm.
Oh,
Yeah, he was playing that.
so he was on a college team for like Call of Duty. That's cool. That's like my main.
Mhm.
That's like my main like gig Call of Duty. I've always loved it.
Yeah, he's really excited for the new one to come out. I
Vanguard,
don't know
right?
when it's coming out.
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah.
I
It comes out
don't
in.
know.
I think it's either end of October or early November. They sometimes change it, but it's around that time of year.
Okay. Yeah, we just got through watching the Major League Series, Call of Duty stream
Oh, you watched
this
that?
last weekend. Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm heavy into that as well. Is that the first time you've watched like professional Call of Duty?
No, I've started watching it when we started dating. I didn't really know too much about it. I was never really like a gamer myself. Played Game Boy. My sister though, she was like really into like PlayStation stuff
Yeah.
and that kind of stuff. So she was more of that. And then when we started dating, he was really into Call of Duty and he was like about to be on this league and he's really into like Twitch streams and stuff like that. So it just kind of like drew me in and I actually really enjoy watching it.
So good.
Yeah, we had it on pretty much all like since that one Thursday up until Sunday,
Started
and
Thursday, right? Yeah.
it was a lot of fun to watch. I don't think that was on Twitch. I think it was on YouTube,
It's
but
yeah, they have exclusive deal on YouTube, yeah.
yeah, but I thought it was exciting to watch.
I love
Mhm.
that. I think me and your husband need to be friends, by the way. That's basically what I'm getting at.
Yeah, he'll be yeah, he would love that.
Do you have like a team like that you're following, or do you just like the whole thing?
Um, I don't personally have a favorite. He is a huge Chicago Optics fan. They were Huntsmen before.
Yeah.
So that was like his team, but he also likes 100 Thieves and
Hey, that's my team.
yeah.
That's my team.
Is it?
Yeah.
And then FaZe, which
They won,
won
right?
the
Oh,
yeah.
that's just
So
just so good. They're just so dominant.
yeah, they were really good. Yeah. So I wouldn't say I have a favorite. I just enjoy watching
You're
them.
watching it, yeah.
Uh-huh, and
It's
then I just kind of, like, root for whoever he's going for at the time.
I like it's just it's so exciting. Like it's like quite it's fast paced. It's just
Yeah.
it just it gets you feeling like a normal sport does. I mean, I'm a big soccer fan, and
Mm.
I'd get just as excited for a soccer game than I do watching a Call of Duty game. You know what I mean? It's like the same type of vibes. I love it.
Yeah, esports is up and coming. I'm really excited to see where it
Yeah,
goes.
you should try and get to an event. I went to an event just before COVID started last year in February. It was
Mm.
in London because there's a team from London, right? The Ravens. I don't think they didn't play at Champs. But I went to there and the atmosphere was so good. Like we had the best. Me and my two friends went and we had the best time. Like you should totally go because I think a lot of their operations are based in Texas as well. So you probably should be able to get to
Yeah.
an event because you've got
Yeah,
Dallas here.
we're only a few hours away from Dallas, so
Yeah,
I mean, he's already told me, he's like, "Next event in Texas, we're going." So I was like,
going
"Okay, that's fine."
nice. I like that. That's so good.
Yeah.
I'm big smiles now, big smiles. Because what have you haven't been streaming ASMR, right? You've been doing games at the minute.
Yeah, so right now I'm just kind of like chatting with my followers
Right.
and whoever wants to come in and say hi.
I'll definitely have to
I've
check
just
out
been
a
doing
stream.
Yeah, I've just been doing like talking and interacting and getting myself used to the platform.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy. I actually really enjoy talking to the people. Like I said, I was really nervous at first, but like
Everyone's
I don't know,
nice.
everybody's
Yeah.
everybody's really nice so far. And then I have some really great moderators. They weed out the
Take
bad
care of
people
everything
right
for you.
away, and
Yeah.
I don't even have to worry about it. And they're like all over the world too, so there's always somebody up
That's good.
willing to mod. So I'm really grateful for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, right now we're just doing like chatting and then just like, the regular like Twitch games. We've done marbles and then we did something else the last time. I don't even remember what it was. Um, but
It's just
yeah, I'd like to get more into the my husband and I we did like the Mario Kart and that kind of stuff. I'd
okay.
like to go into those Nintendo games again.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe start playing some PC games too. So
Nice. It's just it's a different dynamic, isn't it? Because
yeah,
you have YouTube comment sections and you can interact with people with there, but it's not the same, and
it's not the same.
it's a great way to get closer to the people that really support you.
Yeah.
And I think through that, it's just a beautiful thing, right? That's why I started streaming as well. Like I was like, I want to play games and I want to talk to people that really support me, and it was a perfect combination.
Yeah.
Um,
Mhm.
I started playing like I was playing like Pokemon basically, but I wanted to try and keep it on brand. Like it's not ASMR, but at the same time, it's still chill and relaxing. And I feel
Mhm.
like that can be ASMR for some people, just to have that nice environment. And it was like
Yeah.
I had lo-fi music on in the background, and it was like super chill. Like that's the vibe I went for. And then we
Mhm.
finished playing Pokemon, and I've been playing Life is Strange. I don't know if you've played that before, but
I've heard of it.
it's a great game. It'll make you cry. I cried so bad on stream. So bad on stream. Multiple times, by the way. It will yeah.
Aw.
That's a good one to play if you're looking for games to play with your Twitch family. But
And
I'm glad you're on there. And it's just another avenue, right?
mhm.
So I'll have to tune in, I'll have to follow you. Uh But yeah, I mean, in terms of other like type of stuff, I don't know if you've had merch in the past, like paid content, like Patreon and stuff like that. Have you ever done
Mm.
anything like that, or would you do it in the future?
Um, Actually, yeah, that's another new thing that's gonna be up and coming. I haven't quite made this announcement yet
Mm-hmm.
on my channel, but I something with merch and then something else with Patreon is
Nice.
also
It's like I read your
in the
mind.
works. Yeah. So I don't want to touch too much on that yet, but I'm definitely working on stuff there. And I'm really excited about it. But I actually did work with Patreon in the past, and uh I when I first started, I started by doing like custom videos and stuff, and I just really quickly realized that custom videos are not for me at
Mm-hmm.
all. So I will very rarely do a custom video for somebody nowadays, but that's not going to be a part of it anymore. So that
Yeah.
was kind of one of the things that kind of like turned me off to Patreon too, and it was like I don't want to do this; it's too
Yeah.
much pressure. But I think now I have it where I still feel like I'm in control of it. So,
Yeah. No,
which is definitely better for me.
that's important, right? It's got to be healthy for you.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So you got some merch. We got some merch coming out, and hopefully a Patreon in the future. Did you do anything
Yeah.
like I know people like do more like lifestyle channels where they do like vlogs and stuff like that. Would you ever do that as well? Or?
Yeah, actually, my husband and I have a vlog channel.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it's called Jay and Care Vlogs. So yeah, we've been doing that. We haven't uploaded in a while, but we just post like just fun stuff
Just
and
whenever you want to do it. Yeah,
yeah, just whenever. And then I actually do have another vlog channel. It's called Quantum Vlogs, but I haven't posted on
you haven't
that in
posted. Yeah.
2 years.
No,
So
it's
I don't know. Maybe I'll do something like that, but I kind of mostly just want to focus on like my ASMR channel and
yeah.
then the vlog channel with my husband. So
That makes sense. I mean, it sounds like you got a lot going on anyway, so
Yeah,
it's
there's
great.
a lot.
Yeah. And then I guess finally, I always ask people, what are the ultimate goals of the channel? Because obviously, right now, you're doing your PhD, and you're kind of getting to focus on ASMR as well. Would you, if someone offered you the opportunity to do ASMR full time for the rest of your life, and it was, financially stable and it was keeping you happy, would you want that, or do you kind of see your future, doing something else?
Uh, that's a really good question.
Thanks.
This is actually the first time, like, ever that I've actually been able to solely focus on ASMR and make this basically, like, my full-time career for at least a year anyway until I go back to school.
Yeah.
Um, but I've always wanted to be involved in research. I've always wanted to be, involved in, like, the science stuff, and I still have that passion. I still, have a longing to go back to school. It just hasn't worked out for me yet. But once that does happen, I will probably make I probably won't do ASMR, like, full-time anymore,
Yeah.
but it'll definitely be, like, still an important thing in my life, but
Right.
I don't think I would ever want to do it, like, this is my only thing, this is, like, my full-time job,
Yeah. That's fair.
just because I have other, ambitions that I wanna carry out too,
Yeah.
um, but it's definitely gonna I mean, I don't plan on getting rid of my channel ever,
No.
so
Yeah. I love that. Yeah. No, it's great that you've got other things and you kind of you want to accomplish things elsewhere. I think that's respectable. And it's a great thing. I think I like, I'm not I'm nowhere near in a position to think about doing this full time, but I'd like it where I could still upload a video every week, you know what I mean? Like that would be great for me. Um like I said, and like you said yourself, like the community's done a lot for us as viewers, and then it's nice to give back, right? So just to be
yeah,
constantly involved in the community by uploading is something I'd be happy with. I do one ASMR video a week and one podcast episode, and it's great. I love doing it, especially this. Uh,
mm.
but yeah, I think that's gonna end it for today. So I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks to you for coming on and taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it, especially during this hectic time for you and your husband. So thank you so much.
No, thank you so much for having me, this is really great, and it was, a really great push to get me, going forward, so thank you for reaching out.
No, it's been a pleasure. And like I said to you through DMs, it's like it's insane to me because it's a full circle moment, right? Because I've been a big fan for so long, and then now I get to sit down and be a creator myself, but also interview you. Just a blessing. So thank you. And and starting this podcast myself was a push to myself to get me out of my comfort zone because I actually have a lot of social anxiety and stuff like that. So I completely relate to that. But honestly, you couldn't tell. You've been amazing. So thank you again.
Thank you.
For those of you guys that did make it this far, if you weren't familiar with Caroline or Quantum ASMR before today, you can find the links to her channel and her social media pages in the video description and in the pinned comment down below. So make sure you click on all them good things and go and support Caroline in all of her ventures. And if this is the first time watching a podcast episode and you enjoyed it, I upload these every single week with a different creator. So it would mean the world to me if you liked the video. Comment down below what you thought. If you have any questions for me or Caroline, put them down below as well. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. Like I say, I upload a new podcast episode every week, and I also do a new ASMR video every week as well. So yeah, subscribe, click that bell icon, and select all so you don't miss out on any future podcast episodes and ASMR uploads and all that good stuff. Yeah, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate Caroline being here, and this has been the Wiretap Whisper Podcast, episode 19. And I hope you guys have had fun. Bye-bye.